In this video, I'll be talking about how you are going to bank your first brand trip. It's basically a guide to being booked, blessed, and busy. I'm Miss Nay Cotton, and welcome to my channel. Good morning, pineapple. This is one of those 1 o'clock in the morning talks with yourself where you just find or feel the urge to get your life together, like the rebrand needs to happen immediately. It's basically a guide to booked, blessed, and busy. Okay, get comfy, get your notebook, get your pen and paper, put on your PJs or get your tea. I've got 3 tips for you, and I've basically headed it and then I've subheaded it because these are going to be actionable steps that I am taking and actionable steps that you are going to make to bank your first brand trip. If you like this type of content, let me know in the comments and like and subscribe, because this is one of those 1 o'clock in the morning talks with yourself, small meetings where you just have to rebrand, strategize, and plot how you're going to take over the world. It literally is. It's 1 a.m. and this is not my usual location. I am on a brand event in a different city, but I'm like, let's see how we're gonna plot and bag our first brand trip. Number 1, if you don't ask, you don't get. Now this applies to life, but in social media, if you are not going to put yourself out there and slide in brands' DMs, they're not going to know that you are an available candidate for a campaign, an event, or a brand trip. And this is how I started my social media journey in 2024. I was not afraid to slide in brands' DMs, being like, hey, I'm Miss Nay Cotton and I'm starting my moving series. I teach English online and I would love to showcase one of your most popular products, or I love X product and I'd love to showcase it in a video in exchange for product. There's no shame in the trade exchange game when you are starting out. We'll talk about that a little bit later. The second point underneath, if you don't ask, you don't get, is to post organically. A lot of people feel cringe when they're posting, but they don't get the likes and they don't get the engagement and they don't get the comments. Why are you feeling embarrassed? Literally nobody saw it. Nobody saw it. So just post it again and do it again and be consistent and make it organic. Another thing, and I feel like it's a pandemic, is people being afraid to be seen as beginners, or people being afraid to be seen failing. It's a pandemic that needs to be studied, and we need to get the anti-vaccine or the vaccine for it immediately. Because being afraid to be seen as a beginner or being afraid to be seen as cringe is for the people who don't want brand trips. They can be over there. Us over here, we're putting ourselves out there. We are not afraid to be seen as beginners. We're not afraid of being seen as cringe, because the brand trip, the brand trip is coming. And then another thing that works for me is to post on my stories or even post in my videos by being vulnerable in saying that this is what I aspire to, this is what I'm working towards, this is what I want. If I follow someone on social media and I see them at an event or living a particular life or doing a particular activity that I've always wanted to do, I'm gonna put it out there in the comments, because social media managers are real people. Campaign managers are real people, and they are snooping in the comments. If they go through one of these major influencers or influencers that you love's comments and they see your comments saying this is what you want, this is what you aspire to, they go to your page and they see you've been posting organically, you've been posting consistently regardless of the likes in the comments, you're gonna literally put yourself on their radar. And this is what has happened in my social media career or journey. Let's call it a journey, because I'm still journeying and I want to journey to success. Anyway, that's point number 1. If you do not ask, you do not get. The second thing that's going to get you to your first brand trip in 2026 is, if you don't change, nothing changes. And I know you've heard this before, but here are my subtitles. You do have a current reality, and in your current reality, you don't have brand trips. There's no brand trip. It doesn't exist in your life. All right. And even the possibility in your mind doesn't exist in your life. So how do you get from someone who doesn't go on brand trips, someone who doesn't see like brand trips as a possibility in their lives, to somebody who's actually on a brand trip, invited by a brand, flown out, paid for, like books, place, and body? How do you get there? I'm gonna share with you. Okay, so it starts with what you think. What you think changes into your belief. Your beliefs then turn into your daily actions, and your daily actions turn into your daily habits. The habits that you keep are going to be your reality, your future, your everyday life. So we have to start with what we think, changing your thoughts. Now, it sounds nice in theory, but this is how I changed my thoughts to basically brainwash myself into believing that I am someone who deserves to go on these trips. I am somebody who deserves nice things, you know? And I also feel like low-key is a brown person thing for you to not want too much, or for you to not say that you want nice things. But I'm like, I'm about to break that generational curse. And Mina, I know I deserve nice things because I'm a child of a king, and so are you, the child of the king. So anyway, I digress, right? I said what you think becomes your beliefs becomes your actions become your habits, and then your habits turn into your reality, right? So right now you think that you're not the girl. It's a negative thought. So your reality is that you're not gonna be the girl. You can't think you're not the girl and then somehow hope and dream you're gonna be the girl. It doesn't work that way. It starts with your thoughts, right? Also, I'm whispering because it really is 1 a.m. So I hope you can hear me. So it starts with what you think. How do you change what you think? You firstly surround yourself with people who have the life you want to live, because they definitely are thinking the thoughts that you want to be thinking. So what I had done in 2024, I got a life coach. I went through therapy. I surrounded myself with good friends who were progressing in life and chasing after their goals and their dreams without fear or without embarrassment of being cringe. Surrounded myself with those people, and automatically my thought pattern started to change. Also, you're gonna do it. Expose yourself to an environment where you constantly have to realign your habits. For example, waking up early in the morning, going to the gym, eating healthy, whatever it is that gets you to a place where you feel like you're that girl. You need to put yourself in that environment and be that girl. Alright. And then ultimately that's going to change your actions, your habits, and then your reality is going to be positioned as someone who deserves these nice things, positioned as someone who actually believes that they are capable of living this life, because the opportunity can be there. The thing that you really want can be there, but if you believe that it's not for you, poof, it's gone. It's gone. And then number 3 is more of a question. The question is, who are you when no one is looking? And I want you to think about that on your journey to bagging your first brand trip of 2026. Are you inconsistent when nobody's watching, when no one's holding you accountable? Are you nonchalant? You don't care. It's like, it didn't really mean anything. I was just doing it just for Is that how you are when nobody's looking? Funny thing is, when you think no one's looking, someone's watching. Someone's always watching. So show up in those times, even when you think that no one is watching. And I'll give you a prime example of showing up when you think no one is watching. So in 2024, I agreed to a campaign for a brand that was going to pay me lower than my desired rate at the time. And I'm like, you know what? I'm going to take this opportunity. Took the opportunity, did my best with that campaign as if they were paying me above and beyond. 6 or 7 months later, if not a year later, the campaign manager of that brand hits me up and they're like, hey, we saw your video a while ago and we have this event that we want to invite you to. We're going to fly you out, but we also want you to create 2 videos that we're going to pay you for. Fast forward now to 2026. It's been 2 flowed out events. I'm currently at the one event. About 4 paid videos and a car review later. At my desired rate. But had I not been consistent when I thought no one was watching, I would not have even said yes to that trade exchange. I would not have showed up. And I probably would have said, you know what? Well, not trade exchange, the lower than desired rates. I would have said, you know what? Those are not my rates. Thank you, Ted. Thank you, bye. And I would have passed up an opportunity to experience something I've never experienced, because this is something I've never experienced before. This is not normal for me. I'm literally just a brown girl from the gully in Newlands East. This is not normal for me. This is supernatural. This is abnormal for me. So had I blocked my blessings, and let's talk about also blocking your blessings. Right? I also went to check on my phone notes if I wrote it down, this thought. But I didn't write it down, and it was so good. But basically, sometimes we hold ourselves to the standard where we like, this is my standard, and if someone doesn't reach the standard, it's no. And by doing that, by saying no to something that doesn't seem as a big opportunity at face value, by closing that door and saying no, we might be closing a door to a bigger opportunity on the other side of that door. So be careful what you are saying no to. Of course, you have to be careful what you're saying yes to. I'm not saying say yes to trade exchanges all of the time. I'm not saying yes to accepting work below your desired rates. I'm not saying stoop for bottom of the barrel. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is apply your intuition, apply your gut feeling, apply forethought and strategy. That's what I'm saying. So anyway, I don't know if this made sense, but I'm going to post this video anyway. And if it reaches you, it's meant for you. But I just want to recap. In 2026, you are going to follow these 3 steps. And you are going to bank your first brand trip. And when you do, come back to the comments and let me know. The brand trip might not be this year. It might not be next year. Good things take time. You think you're just going to get a brand trip like that by posting 1 or 2 videos? Come on. Put in the hard work. It's going to be worth it. Trust and believe. Anyway, if you like this type of content, let me know in the comments. I am going to be consistent on YouTube, whether you're watching or whether you're not watching, whether I think you're watching or not watching, because the thing that matters to me is little brown Shanae in primary school from the gully. If she could watch this, she would be so proud. And if I can at least inspire a little brown girl that looks like me or had a mindset that I had, that I wasn't good enough or special enough or skilled enough or rich enough or had a good enough accent or smart enough or pretty enough, if I can reach just one girl like that, I'm gonna keep posting these videos. So hold me accountable and like and subscribe. And I hope you're looking cute or whatever. And I'll see you next time. Love you, bye.